Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on the new live-action film Knights of the Zodiac, which comes to theaters on May 12th. Now, I do not know the backstory of this, okay? So I've got to say, there's an animated series, there are mangas, I don't know the story. So this was my first time getting into it, and I was like, all right, is this live action film going to capture me, right? Is it going to excite me? And am I going to know what the heck I'm watching? I will say at the very beginning, they do a very quick, explanation of where we're at, kind of what goes on. You know, they're just like, hey, there's Athena died, but then she was reincarnated in a baby, and this golden knight saved her, and there's Knights of the Zodiac all around that have cosmo powers, and someone took the baby and adopted her, and eventually Athena's gonna come out. Boom. That's basically, they give you that rundown. You're like, all right, I know, let's go. And then we have this movie. And here's the thing. I try not to, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know, for the most part, I review stuff at MamasGeeky.com, my website. If I absolutely love something, or if I think a lot of people are going to ask me, or if people are asking me what I think about it, I come here and I do a video. Very rarely will I do a negative video review. I just don't like to dive into it and be negative. I do in writing. But I really don't here on video. And I've got to tell you, there are good elements to this movie. Here's the thing. Knights of the Zodiac sets up for what a franchise, right? The way it ends, you're like, oh, they plan on more. But are we going to want more? That's the question. I don't know, because it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's about 2 hours long, a little bit too long. I mean, it's trying to have an epic, you know, it feels like it's trying to be a Marvel-esque type movie. And it just, here's the thing, it just doesn't have the budget to succeed in the things that its visions, okay? Because I can see where its visions were. I get it. During the big, massive final sequence, right? Finale sequence, final fight, whatever you want to call it, you can tell a lot of their budget went into that. They have, I think it's a budget of 60 million. They've got to pay some talent, and you just don't have a lot for effects. So here's the thing. There were some scenes where there was a helicopter, I guess, landing. It's a helicopter plane hybrid type thing. And it looks horrible, laughable horrible. And when you're in a serious movie and you're seeing this helicopter land and it looks like an awful toy over a green screen, I don't know. It's very hard not to be taken out of the story, if that makes sense. Now, I will say like I said, the final fight is insane and it looks great. The choreography is incredible and it's just a really great fight. It's entertaining to watch. But that's at the end of the movie after you've sat through the rest of this film. And the story is decent. It's entertaining. I'm sure it's very well adapted from the manga, and that's probably why it's a decent-ish story, right? But just the effects are so not great. The Cosmo stuff. There's almost a blood transfusion Cosmo thing going on, which is entertaining and interesting. I don't know. Entertaining is maybe not the right word. Interesting is the right word. I don't get it. I didn't really understand it. They kind of explain it. It just felt like it just didn't make sense. It's a little bit muddled, okay? The story itself is decent, and it stinks because there's potential here, but it's a little bit muddled. I will say the actors do what they can with this. I mean, listen, there's a montage-y training thing that goes on for so long, complete with story points being it's split up. It's this guy goes off. Here's the gist of it, okay? This guy comes out, he's fighting, he's oh, I guess I have Cosmo powers. And they're yeah, you should be a Knight of the Zodiac. And he's I don't know what that is, let me learn about it. And then they're go up this mountain and learn from this other knight. And he's okay. So he does that. But the problem is you're he's training or whatever. And then they're here, let's go to this whole scene with this Sienna who's going to be Athena girl. And then we'll come back. And it's a little bit all over the place when it comes to that. The thing is, it's just not a good movie. Like I said, it is a decent story. There's potential here. The effects are so horrible, except for in that final scene. Where they do this really great red versus blue thing, which whatever, but energy, right? It's just, the problem is so many of the poor effects take you completely out of it to the point where you're oh, wow. And then you're distracted by that and you're not really paying attention to the story. So maybe they explained some things that I didn't get because I was so busy like, what was their thought process here? You know what I'm saying? And it stinks because, like I said, they could definitely do more. And maybe they'll have a bigger budget when they do more later down the line, okay? The two main actors were really, really good. Like the main actor guy and then the main like bad guy actor guy. The two that fight at the end, right? They're both really, really good and definitely committed to this role. But here's the thing, like I mean, Sean Bean is in this and he's so good in his scenes that like you can tell how like not seasoned the rest of the actors around him are. That's part of the problem too. And again, it just doesn't look great. And I feel like it should look great. Like the final scenes look great. Sure, the final scene looks good. Okay, for the most part. But you're still like, why didn't you like sprinkle the budget throughout? I don't know what the issue was, but just some of the effects are just not up to par. And I'm sure it's a budget thing. I'm like 98% positive that's what it is. And that stinks when something like that happens. Unfortunately, this movie is just not good because, you know, like I said, there's a decent story in there somewhere, but it feels too muddled, too much stuff going on, a little bit confusing. They jump around a lot. And I feel like the actors do what they can, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. It's way too long. It's 2 hours. It feels like 4. And the effects are just not good. Until you get to the very end, great action sequence, awesome choreography. But okay, a little too late, right? That's kind of how I feel about it. Listen, I give this thing, I'm so sorry, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. I feel really bad. A lot of people asked me to review this movie, so that is why I am putting this out here. A lot of people had asked if I was going to check it out, so there you go. I am so sorry I didn't enjoy it. Maybe I will pick up the mangas. Maybe I will be able to dive into it more because I do like that. And so maybe that'll be good. I don't know. Maybe the animated series is good. I don't know. You guys let me know. But just unfortunately, this one just fell really flat for me. And I was really excited for it, actually, because it sounded like a very interesting concept. And there was potential here. That's the big problem. There was potential, but overall, a big miss for me. You guys let me know if you're going to check this out. Please see it yourself. Form your own opinion. Don't just listen to me. Let me know if you're going to check it out down below in the comments. If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen Knights of the Zodiac, let me know what you thought. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.